on Sushant Singh Rajput case. Tunisha's death mystery unravels. Mother alleges Shizan cheated on Tunisha and harassed her. Coachers and Videocon founder Venugopal Doot in 3-day CBI custody in connection with loan fraud case. Well, good evening, friends, to this 8 p.m. The Burning Question edition this Monday evening. The Modi government declared December 26 every year to be marked as Veer Diwas to commemorate the martyrdom of 4 sons of Guru Gobind Singh, the Sahibzades, at the hands of Mughal governors of Punjab. Speaking on the occasion today, Prime Minister has raised a debate. Should society have so conveniently forgotten such great martyrdom to resist attempts at conversion at the point of sword? Shouldn't society remember that crucial episode of history, and how? Let's look at this report and then we come back to debate.
Today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi reignited the debate of rewriting history. Speaking at the first Veer Diwas event, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that a complete chapter was erased from public memory. He went on to add that it is New India that is correcting that mistake.
औरंगजेब और उसकी सल्तनत की क्या दुश्मनी हो सकती थी? दो निर्दोष बालकों को दीवार में जिंदा चुनवाने जैसी दरिंदगी क्यों की गई? वो इसलिए क्योंकि औरंगजेब और उसके लोग गुरु गोविंद सिंह के बच्चों का धर्म तलवार के दम पर बदलना चाहते थे.
Not just this, for the first time, Prime Minister Modi also spoke on the issue of forced conversion and said that Aurangzeb wanted to convert Guru Gobind Singh's sons.
मैं देश के सामने दोहराना चाहता हूं, साहबजादों ने इतना बड़ा बलिदान और त्याग किया, अपना जीवन न्योछावर कर दिया, लेकिन आज की पीढ़ी के बच्चों को पूछेंगे तो उनमें से ज्यादातर को उनके बारे में पता ही नहीं है. पहले हमारे यहां क्यों वीर बाल दिवस का विचार तक नहीं आया, लेकिन ये जरूर कहूंगा कि अब नया भारत दशकों पहले हुई एक पुरानी भूल को सुधार रहा है.
Two strong statements coming from the Prime Minister today has clearly miffed the opposition and raised a big question. Was real history deliberately blacked out? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
All right, joining me, Majid Hadri, journalist and political analyst, live from Srinagar. Ashutosh Mishra, senior journalist, live from Delhi, leans towards the Congress party. Also joining me would be Gopal Krishna Agrawal, national spokesperson of the BJP in a bit, I am told, and Uday Mahurkar, author, thinker and scholar of modern Indian history. So since we are talking about history, rewriting of history and conversion, let me begin with you, Mr. Mahurkar. You know, what has Prime Minister essentially said? That such an important event of history for a society, and then we find that it's not reflected anywhere in our history books. General society, you know, schools, they don't teach about it, they don't inform general citizenry about it. There is nothing mentioned about the Sahibzades in the curriculum, now of course revised over the last couple of years, and I am told that in the NCERT books this episode finds mention in some ways. But for good 7 decades of India's independence, nothing was mentioned about this very important episode insofar as India's medieval history is concerned. Mr. Mahurkar, isn't Prime Minister right in starting this debate whether we should have a relook at history and the manner in which it has been written post-independence?
Prime Minister is spot on, because I think we'll have to have a very serious look at the way history is being taught or has been taught over the last 60 years. And there are telltale examples. For example, Assam Chief Minister Hemant Biswa Sarma, he held a big program here to highlight the contribution of one of their heroes. Now, nobody knows Lachit Barphukan here. Lachit Barphukan is the Shivaji of Assam. It is only when he hosted a big program here in Delhi with the Prime Minister attending it, that nation came to know there was a hero of Assam who defeated Mughal many times. Similarly, talk about Sambhaji's sacrifice. Chhatrapati Sambhaji, son of Shivaji, was killed by Aurangzeb. He was given the choice of accepting Islam or death. He chose death over Islam. So, there are telltale examples. I might do a book on Shivaji very soon. For that, I am doing a chapter pre-Hindustan Shivaji. So when I started researching for that chapter, I was totally zapped. There is a figure called Kapilendra Gajapati from Odisha. He was an emperor. Nobody knows his name. In the 14th century, he from Odisha, he invaded Jaunpur in UP. On his left, he came till Dhar, almost 1,000 kilometers. On his right, he went right into Bengal, another 900 kilometers. He was an emperor. We don't even know his name. Similarly, in UP, generally it is said that UP did not produce a very great hero in the medieval period. It is not correct. There is a ruler called Raja Trilok Chand from the Basque clan. Raja Trilok Chand carved out an independent kingdom in the 14th century at the height of Sultanate period, which is the most painful period for the people of this country. So there are telltale examples. I think there is a need to rewrite history from the point of view of every state. Every state has a hero. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Even Shivaji and Rana Pratap have not been projected the way they should have been. When Shivaji died, the length of his kingdom was 1600 kilometers.
Yeah. Mr. Mahorkar, so, I would broaden the debate and I'll come back to you. You have given a very important point. You have given a couple of names, Trilok Chand, Lachit Barphukan, you mentioned about Assam. And the list can go on. Rani Gaidinliu, and then you had Rani Kamlapati. The Prime Minister has been emphasizing that these regional leaders need to be acknowledged. So I am sort of broadening the debate. It's not just about Sahibzades. That's where we are beginning. Ashutosh Mishra, what's wrong if the Prime Minister says that these subaltern heroes and their contribution to India's society should be acknowledged, which was not done for the last 7 decades? Ashutosh Mishra.
So it's the second part that you say which is wrong. Maybe Mr. Narendra Modi and his fellow partymen haven't studied history properly or have been taught some other narrative and they're unaware. I mean, the Sikhs
you have read history?
Called Sardarji. Why are they called Sardarji?
Are you finding fault with the history of Sahibzades, or are you finding fault, or you are uncomfortable with the fact that it challenges the narrative that has been taught to us for the last 7 decades, Ashutosh Mishra, that the Mughals did no wrong? And that's what the history books teach us, at least.
Abhishek, I am telling you that Narendra Modi hasn't been taught history properly. Everybody respects the Sikhs and that's why they are called Sardarji. Why are they called Sardarji? It's because of their valor and their ability to protect Hindus and fight against the Mughals. That's why they are called Sardarji. And this gentleman comes today and says that, oh, we don't know about the martyrdom of Sikhs. That's ridiculous. Of course, there will be heroes and heroines in India about which all the Indians wouldn't be knowing. And even the so-called historians would get to know about them when researching for a
Ashutosh Mishra, you are being economical with truth. I think, Ashutosh Mishra, I am a reasonably good student of history. I have not studied history in a structured course. But for example, I read the history of medieval India, say written by Satish Chandra. I read the history of freedom struggle by Bipan Chandra. I read the freedom struggle books by other authors like Rajmohan Gandhi. These stories really don't come, or they come with a spin. For example, Majid Hydari, the kind of history we are taught in books does not mention the reasons behind Mopla rebellion. They sort of paper over the facts. I did not, for example, read Rani Gaidinliu at the time that I was studying in school. There is a problem with the manner in which history has been structured in the textbooks. And that brings me to the other aspect of the debate. Gopal Krishna Agrawal, is it because the Congress party post-independence under Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru thought that these facts, howsoever true, would make one particular community uncomfortable. And that's why those were banished effectively from the narrative. Gopal Krishna Agarwal?
This whole act started with the Britishers. They had written a colonial history, and the Congress carried on into that whole thing. Even after independence or during the fight under the independence, people, persons, leaders, and warriors, those who fought Britishers, their own history was not clearly put before the people. We understand why the colonial people subverted the history. But you see now a Swaraj serial is being made with 75 episodes. Prime Minister said more than 250 great dynasties of India had ruled before Britishers or before for long. Those dynasties, those great kingdoms, those contribution to the country, the civilizational contribution, all were ignored for a particular reason. This was because of Britishers. And later on, post-independence, the Congress had only tried to glorify the contribution of one family. And even after in the freedom struggle also, contribution of Subhash Chandra Bose, Veer Savarkar, Chandrasekhar Azad, all those were not given due weightage. The Prime Minister said there were so many people in the country who had fought Britishers in tribal areas, in the remote areas. They were not brought about properly. So the thing is, the history was with a particular design before independence by the Britishers and the post-independence by the Congress people. They did not want the contribution of other people from the other parivar. They did not want that.
Essentially,
light.
Mr. Agarwal,
see how Savarkar.
Essentially, the point you are making. The point you are making, Mr. Agarwal, is that the Congress party fashioned history through history textbooks to suit its politics. Majid Hydari, you know, why should a nation's collective destiny be decided by what one particular community here and there? I am not talking about one particular community as in the Muslims. It could be different in the case of Sahibzades. It could be a little different in the case of Lachit Barphukan, or even more different in the case of the Mopla rebellion and the Rani Kamlapati episode, or the tribals in Rajasthan. The Prime Minister inaugurated a museum there. You know, why should one particular community's sentiments effectively determine a very scientific study of history as it stands? Majid Hydari.
Well, firstly, Abhishek, there is no history being rewritten. History is being mutated. And when you said that you are learned in history, let me remind you and suggest you one book, which is The Sword of Tipu Sultan, written by Bhagwan S. Gidwani, a Hindu author writing an honest book on a Muslim ruler. That is how history would be honestly written in our country. But the problem as of now is that since 2014, we have so many mutations in the history that somebody who was supposed to be a British spy is being projected as a divine man called Veer Savarkar.
Is the story of Sahibzades a mutation? Are you trying to insult the sacrifice made by the Sahibzades? Majid Hydari.
No, the mutation is that
that's not a mutation. We are talking about a particular instance in history,
Abhishek,
which was banished just because one community did not like it.
Sir, the mutation is that in the honor of Emperor Aurangzeb, we had a road, Aurangzeb Road, in the national capital. But that was renamed because you wanted to demonize a great Mughal emperor who consolidated India into one Akhand Bharat. The idea of
because that amounted to banishment of an aspect of history, Majid Hydari, which is now being brought back.
No, you are trying to demonize the greatest of the emperors in Indian history. That's not looking as through his ideology.
He is being presented as he was. Is it not a demonizing act when you kill?
Firstly,
when you kill a 5-year-old and 8-year-old because the child refused to convert.
My dear friend, to know the real history, you will first have to respect Jawaharlal Nehru because
is it not demonic? Is it not demonic that you kill children as young as 5-year-old and 8-year-old?
See, these are
Majid
these are
Hydari, that's
mythological
really
issues.
insult
They
to
don't
the
have any
sacrifice and the
you don't have
martyrdom
any
of Sahibzadeh.
substantial
But
instance of that.
I have a more important question to Mr. Mahurkar. Mr. Mahurkar, Prime Minister is saying conversion at the point of sword is aimed at changing a nation and fashioning the nation to your own whims and fancies or religion or whatever. You know, and that's a very important aspect which the Prime Minister has raised today. Conversions are going on even now. The modus operandi might have changed. It's not at the point of sword, perhaps, but you know, persuasion and whatever is done to make sure that one particular worldview prevails. Isn't Prime Minister right in connecting the two? That conversions happened in history and they have to be shown in their true light in the country, if need be through textbooks, Mr. Mahurkar?
He is absolutely correct. You could write a book on how Hindus were told to convert at the point of sword. There are many names. There is one Hakikat Rai from Punjab. There are a series of names. You can write a small book on that, you know. So, to link today's conversion with the motive of conversion which happened, which we saw in the medieval period is perfectly all right. But I think we need to take the conversion debate further. I think in the Indian Constitution, this whole thing about freedom to religion, practice religion is linked with propagation. And propagation is the term which is used by today's groups to convert. If they are stopped from converting, they say that we are being stopped from propagating. So I think
Yes.
there has to be debate whether the term propagation has to be continued in the Constitution or not. So I think we have to take it further because
Abhishek, I want 30
conversion
seconds.
with inducements and enrollments is going on. Even today, it is there everywhere. In Telangana, in Madras, in Tamil Nadu, it is going on.
I'll
on
come
a
to you,
big
Majid
scale
Hadi.
even today.
Abhishek, I want 30 seconds. If we are talking about conversions,
Exactly 30 seconds, Majid Hydari. Exactly 30
Sir,
seconds. Exactly 30
okay,
seconds.
Sir. Okay, sir. If we are talking about conversions, India at one point in time was a Buddhist nation. Buddhist conversion of Buddhism get converted into Hinduism. That is a bigger debate which we need to discuss. Because Muslims have never been in majority. Even when Muslims ruled India for 500 years,
That's a
there were
very
no
wrong
possible
reading of history, Majid
conversions.
Hydari.
And that
That's
is
a
bigger
very,
reality.
very wrong reading of history, Majid Hydari. And that's the problem.
think that is-
That's the
that-
problem
that
that
is-
happens, Majid Hydari.
No, even
when
Jawaharlal Nehru calls it Buddhist caste
for
at one point in
decades,
time.
wrong history is taught, of which Majid Hydari is a product. A wrong history is taught with a clear leftist slant, of which Majid Hydari is a product. Ashutosh Mishra.
I
If
never
conversions
read
are aimed at
Baba
banishing a
Sahib
culture or
Alhamdulillah.
civilization, why the Congress government since independence, Ashutosh Mishra, continued to support that project by whitewashing history textbooks and not mentioning these, what the leftist historians would call subaltern histories from these regions, from Punjab, from Madhya Pradesh, from Kerala, from Assam. You know, there was clearly an attempt to appease a community, and that's why we, Majid Hydari being an
Abhishek ji.
example of that, never came to know what is the real history, civilizational history of this country. Ashutosh Mishra.
So I think that Majid Hydari and Narendra Modi have studied history from the same sort of teachers who didn't teach them the correct history. There was no whitewashing. Maybe some people, some of the local leaders weren't given as much due importance. But to say that the Sikhs were not given due importance is a false narrative being built by BJP.
Oh, you
know
are
what Amit
admitting.
Shah said? Who can stop us from rewriting history?
Abhishek
Now,
ji.
what BJP wants is to rewrite history and make
You have admitted.
people like
Gopal Krishna
Savarkar,
Agarwal, Ashutosh Mishra admits that some regional leaders might not have been given importance, but this attempt by the BJP, according to Ashutosh Mishra, to rewrite history, might have its own political agenda. You have to respond to that, Gopal Krishna Agarwal.
Abhishek ji, we have to understand when the Prime Minister says that the narrative change is required, what does he mean? Why, when you are respecting in a secular country Aurangzeb, who demolished so many temples, why can't you write it rightly? Why can't you accept those things? Unless you accept those things historically, that he had destroyed so many temples. Why? The only issue is the narrative is particularly in the historical
Destruction of temples have been
writing is
recognized and every
biased
Indian knows that.
towards
Why are
appeasement.
you trying
The
to
thing
paint
is,
it that
no,
something
you
new
have
which
to
has come up?
understand.
These are historical
You have
facts,
to
Mr.
understand
Agarwal.
that the
Please
appeasement
do not
politics
misrepresent
directed
facts.
the Congress
facts is the
policy
destructions of
in
temples are
undermining
there on
constitution
and you
and
tried to
rightly
paint
identifying
everything
the
because of
icons.
your lack of knowledge. Maybe you didn't know
No,
it.
is
You
not
tried to
our
paint it
lack
as
of
if
knowledge.
something new has been found.
Don't
It hasn't
you
been
want,
found. It has
there is
always
an
been
issue
a
of
part
demographic
history.
changes. There is a problem of demographic changes in
Yeah.
many of the areas because of conversion. There is a problem in Assam because of infiltration. Why can't you accept those things historically? Even after post-independence, the history was not recognized in the right sense. There
Mr.
is an
Agarwal, you have
infiltration,
not
there
been
is a
taught correct
conversion,
history.
there
These
is a
facts are
problem
there and
of
everybody knows about them.
demolition of
So
temples,
where were you when these were
pre-independence.
being taught?
Why
Nobody
even in the
respects
Mughal
Aurangzeb.
era,
Nobody
why can't you
respects
rightfully
Aurangzeb. Let's be
accept
clear on that.
Ashutosh Mishra, Mr. Agrawal, you have made a
Nobody
point. I want
respects
to,
Aurangzeb. Don't try
I
to
want
paint this false-
to take it to Ashutosh Mishra in a little structured manner, and to Majid Hydari also before I give the concluding remarks to Mr. Mahorkar. Ashutosh Mishra, I did not read it, but if, for example, generations henceforth in schools, children are taught that the mosque in Mathura is a conquest mosque, just one word. It's a conquest mosque. That's not written in textbooks. If it is written, would you have any problem?
Where have you been living? I knew all along that it is the mosque, whether it be in Mathura or whether it
You
be
knew, but
in
you never taught it
Kashi.
in the schools.
It is taught. People know about that. That's why
Unless you understand and read history in the right narrative, right perspective,
show these seeds
how
of
will
discord,
you
and it's a
correct
vote
the
catching
historical
ability
wrongs?
where they want to
Or
hide
how will you
the
paint the
failure of
future
government
narrations?
behind
How
these things
give
which everybody
information?
knew
Okay,
except
since you
maybe
mentioned
people.
communal angle-
because it's not a part of maybe their entire political science
in the
classes.
name of
But everybody knew
secularism,
about that. Anyone
the
who has been
problems
a
of the
student history
historical
knows
background
about this,
was not
and there is
given
nothing
the
to hide
right
about
place
that.
in the history. The
No.
issue
If there happens to be an incidental communal angle. Okay, if there happens to be an incidental communal angle, Ashutosh Mishra, what's wrong? What's wrong? There is no communal angle to Rani Gaidenliu. There is no communal angle to the story of Rani Kamalapati.
And if you didn't know about her, that's your
and
fault.
glorifying
And if
Aurangzeb.
there
People
is,
have a
what's
standing
problem?
to
What's the
about
problem?
her.
Is it just for the sake of assuaging the fears, unknown fears, make-believe fears, sometimes dishonest fears of one community? You will not teach the history, the true history of Mobla rebellion, for example?
Knows had ordered the killing of Brahmins around Delhi and wanted their Janeus in Man. Man is, and you know how light a Janeu weighs. So it's people like Aurangzeb whom nobody respects, but BJP tries to paint as if they were given more respect than due. They were not given any
has
respect.
been
It's all their
glorified out
misdeeds
of
are mentioned,
proportion
and any
just
educated
to
person would
appease
know that.
one religion, one people from our one community and religion. Why Aurangzeb should be glorified in a secular
No, even if
country like
Aurangzeb is not
Why
glorified,
Mr.
Agrawal.
The people should not be taught correctly.
No. I'm correcting it. Ashutosh Mishra, I'm correcting it. Even if Aurangzeb is not glorified, you know, the benign indulgence that history textbooks,
Try to convert people like you.
the benign indulgence that history textbooks show towards Aurangzeb is a clear indication.
Narrative of history
It is
is
a
given.
clear indication that those are aimed at pandering to certain sentiments. Majid Hydari, please tell me, if, for example, I asked this question to Ashutosh Mishra, he deflected. If, for example, the mosque at Mathura, the Aurangzebi mosque at Mathura is called a conquest mosque, would you have problem, Majid Hydari? Why should you have any problem? That's a straight reading of history. It's a conquest mosque after all. No aspect of Prophet Muhammad's life connects with that place in Mathura. There should be no problem in calling it a conquest mosque.
You are talking about Gyanvapi Masjid.
I am talking about the Mathura mosque.
That is
Where
Varanasi.
the Aurangzebi mosque which
Mathura
stands
Masjid,
where
Mathura-
it is
okay,
believed,
Mathura Masjid, yes.
it is believed that Lord Krishna was born.
Exactly. The point is that in new India, in secular India, you cannot have court cases where the petition has been filed by a
A new
donkey. That is the
India
biggest
should
issue like these
forget
cases.
its 5,000 years of history, Majid Hadri. That's what you
We
are
need
saying,
to
essentially.
forget because we have certain laws which prevent you from thinking and digging out history, which may deteriorate or hamper our secular fabric. Our secular ethos are more important than digging out history, sir. We need to be more concerned about our future than our history. That is how India will progress.
Secularism.
Let's not dig out history. Let's not dig out the controversial part of history for the sake of it.
Secularism,
to benefit a particular
according
ideology.
to you,
Abhishek.
secularism, according to you, is the gold standard. Okay, so according to Majid Hadri, secularism is the gold standard which should determine how the destiny of the nation is seen. You know, on that note, let me go to Mr. Uday Mahurkar. He has been waiting patiently. Mr. Mahurkar, two aspects of this debate we have discussed in the last 20 minutes. One is conversion and how it impacts a civilization. And should it be allowed, should it not be allowed? You mentioned that the word propagation in the constitution needs a relook as enshrined in, those articles which guarantee certain rights to the minorities of the country. The point is, we have seen in the Northeast how the entire demography has changed. We have seen that in pockets of Kerala, how conversion has affected the dynamics in a manner that there are many pockets where people are not familiar with their own history. In that sense, taken together, the issue of conversion and the history, taken together, the history, the issue of conversion and history. I think the Prime Minister has started a debate, Mr. Mahurkar, which should be given a serious look by the intelligentsia of the country and by decision makers of the country.
You see, Abhishek, what my two panelists are saying, calling rewriting of history by the present government, it is correction of history, correction of wrong history. It is not rewriting history, It is correcting wrong history. So let us understand what we are talking. We are not saying that the contribution of those who fought with the principle of non-violence should be reduced, but those who fought with the gun, the revolutionaries, that chapter has to be properly added. So it is not attempt to rewrite history, it is attempt to correct history. And I think it's a very vast subject. For example, Clement Attlee, when he came in 1956 to Calcutta, in 1956, when he was not the Prime Minister, the person who gave us freedom, he told P.B. Chakravarti that three main reasons for British to exit this country were INA, the soldiers who fought the Second World War for Britain, their pressure that look here, now we have fought your war, you have won the war, now you leave the country. And third was the Navy mutiny. And when P.B. Chakravarti asked him pointedly as to what was the role of Congress, what was the pressure which Congress created, which forced you to leave the country.
Yes.
He said at that point of time in 1947, the Congress pressure or Gandhiji's pressure was minimal. The word he uses minimal. It is there in the history of Bengal, written by R.C. Mazumdar. I come to R.C. Mazumdar. Let them answer why R.C. Mazumdar, who was the greatest historian of his time, had to join Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. His services not utilized by the first education Minister
Mr.
of India,
Mahurkar, you have
Kalam Azad.
touched the raw nerve.
It was K. Munshi.
Mr. Mahurkar, you have touched the raw nerve. In fact,
Sir,
as
you are
part
not
of a
digging out
project,
history,
Mr.
you are
Mahurkar, I
digging
believe
out
post-independence,
old-
almost as part of a project.
A historian like listen, Abhishek,
How they
a
are
historian
willing
R.C.
to
Mazumdar
accept
had to join
the
Bharatiya
facts
Vidya Bhavan.
which so-called facts that were presented by a British.
Yes, I have understood, Mr. Mahurkar. Ashutosh Mishra is saying there is no point in digging old wounds. But the fact of the matter is, Mr. Mishra, that if old wounds are allowed to, if old wounds are suppressed like this, they can turn into a tumor in society. On that note, I think post-independence, there was almost a project about which Mr. Mahurkar is mentioning of carrying out a purge of a certain worldview so that the entire politics could be fashioned to appease one particular community, history writing being part of that. Prime Minister today is starting a debate on whether we should have a relook at it. Of course, so this will go on for a while. On that note, I end this debate. Thank you so much, all my guests, for joining us on this Monday evening. And for the second part of the burning question, I hand it over to Deepthi.
Thank you, Abhishek. You know, it's a non-ending debate. I think the focus that we are putting out now is also a non-ending debate. For how long can the Congress party go on heaping insults one after the other? You know, you name it and you have it. And the complete silence by the Congress's top brass. What really does that explain? Now, what we are putting our focus on is on the hypocrisy of the Congress party. Earlier in the day, ladies and gentlemen, you had Rahul Gandhi as a part of his Bharat Jodo Yatra, who actually goes to the Samadhi of the Bharat Ratna, late Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee Sahab. He is going there to pay homage. And he says, mere liye ye pyar ki rajniti hai. But on the other side, you have a Congress neta, very, very close. In fact, someone who works in the office of Mallikarjun Kharge, who's the Congress president, Gaurav Pandey, who tweets an insult for Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Though now, after pressure, he's deleted that tweet. But the question is, what is the Congress's ideology? What kind of politics is this? What kind of a mudslinging is this? And why to target Atal Bihari Vajpayee Sahab only and only to settle your scores with Prime Minister Modi? And why no action at all by the Congress party? Let's quickly pull up everything on that top focus story, and then we are back with the debate.
The insult spree by the Congress party looks far from getting over. First, they insulted the Prime Minister of the country. Then their leader passed a misogynistic remark on Union Minister Smriti Irani. Now it is Atal Bihari Vajpayee who they have targeted. Congress leader Gaurav Pandey labelled Vajpayee as an informer of the Britishers. Later on, after facing massive backlash, he went on to delete his tweet.
जिस कांग्रेस पार्टी के नेता चीन और पाकिस्तान के तारीफों के पुल बांधते हों, उनकी ताकत की बात करते हों, हमें उनसे कम किसी स्टेट्समैन, देश के सबसे लोकप्रिय नेताओं में से एक अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी के लिए उनका सर्टिफिकेट नहीं चाहिए। मुझे लगता है देश से उनको माफी मांगनी चाहिए। और अगर आप पुराने भाषण उनके उस समय के भी देखेंगे तो कोई ऐसा मौका कांग्रेस अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी की सरकार के समय, मोदी जी के समय नहीं चूकती जहां देश के प्रधानमंत्री को अपमानित करने का कोई कसर छोड़ी हो।
But this has been the strategy of the Congress party always: tweet, delete, and then distance. The burning question, however, remains that will this insult spree, which has gone too far, boomerang on the Congress party? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
So what is behind this pattern of insult, and why is there total silence from Rahul Gandhi? Should he not pull up this man? Let's say good evening to our panelist guest. Gopal Krishna Agarwal continues with us. He's the national spokesperson of the BJP, along with Karan Verma, who's an author. I also do see Ravi Srivastava, political analyst. He leans towards the Aam Aadmi Party. Good evening to all of you, gentlemen. And my first question is to George Kurian, who's also a political strategist, and he leans towards the Congress. So, you know, George, what kind of a strategy is this? Earlier in the day, Rahul Gandhi goes and pays homage to the late Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee Sahab, and you also have a Congress leader who insults him. Why?
Well, Dipti, let me make it very clear to your audience that I don't take up shows where I can't defend the indefensible. Okay? And with regards to a tweet from Gaurav, I strongly believe that one shouldn't.
You can't defend this. Good.
Well, with regards to the tweet from Gaurav, I strongly believe one shouldn't give much importance who doesn't hold on firmly, yeah, and deal with its consequences if challenged in the court of law. So that is the reason why I'm saying that there isn't much substance to this statement made with respect to former Prime Minister Bharat Ratna Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, and there is no need to link this with Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi, as we all know, during his Bharat Jodo Yatra was in the national capital. He has paid. Let me just finish. He has paid his respect to all the former Prime Minister. As far as Rahul Gandhi is concerned, we believe in the ideology of love and trying to unite the country. So there is absolutely no need, and as I said, there is not much importance that needs to be given to Gaurav in the first place. He's just a coordinator to begin with. So I strongly believe there is no need to link Rahul Gandhi and Gaurav Pandey as such.
Why are you being
Rahul
economical
has
with the
his
truth? You know, you're forcing me to do what I don't want to do, but we'll do that.
No, he has thrown.
So what we'll do, in fact.
You're free to question me.
You know, Gaurav Pandey, I just want to tell our viewers who this man is and why is he not a nobody. He's clearly not a nobody. He says he's a congressman. He is the AICC coordinator, office of the Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge. So that is what this man is, George. Why today has he deleted his tweet? Can you tell me that?
That is what,
he's deleted the tweet, but no apology. And
See,
no one from the Congress party has pulled him up. Rahul Gandhi, George, hasn't said that he doesn't agree with what he has said. He's calling him a British stooge.
And deleting that tweet holds no importance. So there is absolutely no importance should be given to Gaurav.
No, but
because you obviously cannot defend it. But let me see if Ravi is able to do that. Then I'm going to come to you, Mr. Agarwal. 30 seconds, sir. Ravi, what about you? Should no importance be given to Gaurav Pandey only because, you know, the Congress party today is not able to defend him? Is there not a pattern of these insults?
Whether you give him any importance or not, I don't understand that. But as far as the Congress is concerned, they have not given him any importance. And the Congress leader Rahul Gandhi went to the Samadhi of Atalji. But now please give
Ravi
me 30
Srivastava,
seconds.
have they sacked him?
No,
Ravi, I am confused. No, because I want to stop you here. I want to talk about this hypocrisy. Ravi, I want to talk about this hypocrisy.
I will confuse
Rahul
you more
Gandhi
now.
जाते हैं श्रद्धांजलि
You
देने
listen to me.
और
I'll
गौरव
confuse
पांडे
you
उन्हें
more.
गाली देते हैं. What kind of politics is this, Ravi? What kind of politics is this?
I'll confuse you more now. You confuse that none other than the Subramaniam Swami, who is the parliamentarian of the BJP, has said it on record that Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was a British informer. On 12th of August 1997,
Are you his spokesperson tonight?
No, I'm not a spokesperson.
Are you Ravi? Now the spokesperson also of Subramaniam Swami and the Congress party because you're going to those lengths to defend him. You find nothing wrong in that tweet.
They must see their own house. It was said by their tall leader, Subramaniam Swami himself. And because of him, the Bateshwar case was there.
Mr. Agarwal is countering
it. And they were given a lifetime sentence.
The Congress should clarify.
And he only called him the British informer. He should know Gopal Agarwal should know his own man. You should know your own man. Mr. Subramaniam Swami is your parliament member. Are you aware? Do you know him?
When Gaurav Pandey says that
you
the
know
statement
him?
which he
You
has
know
later
Subramaniam
deleted,
Swami,
it is not
Mr.
only the
Gopal
opposition leader. The
You know
Congress
Subramaniam
has
Swami
been
or
doing
not?
this with their own leaders. Narasimha Rao ji, he was not allowed after his death to be entered into the head office of the Congress in Delhi. His family wanted to cremate him in Delhi. They were not allowed that point of time. He was sent to his home state. The thing is, they are not giving due respect to Sardar Patel, Subhash Chandra Bose, except Gandhi family. The leaders of the Congress, like even people who are respected across the country like Narasimha Rao, they are not being respected. Congress has been only looking after whether it is one Gandhi family, it is Rajiv Gandhi, Indira Gandhi or Nehru. That's the only thing they look after. And they
are you looking after your own member
even
parliament?
Ambedkar ji, it was the BJP government, NDA government, which gave the due respect to even Ambedkar ji. He was not given his due respect. The thing is, even during the independence struggle, the contribution of several leaders like Savarkar, all were ignored. The thing is, Congress has a closed mind. They take only at the time now they wanted to give some optics to the whole episode. Therefore, Rahul Gandhi chose to visit the Atal Bihari Vajpayee. The thing is,
so I think Mr. Agarwal, George is making a fair point. He's making a fair point. And let's see if we can actually have those two split windows on our screens. On one side, you know, George, Look at the optics. On one side, you have Rahul Gandhi, who visits the Samadhi of Atal Bihari Vajpayee Sahib. He says that this is my idea of extending my respects to the former Prime Minister, who's also a Bharat Ratna awardee. On the other side, you have this tweet that's coming from Gaurav Pandit. I just want to know which is the real Congress. And if Rahul Gandhi is the real Congress, why do you not pull up a man called Gaurav Pandit? He's still the in charge. He's still the AICC coordinator. Why don't you sack him?
Dipti, let me again make it very clear to your audience.
This is a part of their strategy.
Gopalji, let me just put my views across. Dipti, let me make it clear to your audience that Gaurav is just a position holder within the Congress. He doesn't hold any post in the constitution of law.
What do you mean he's just a position holder? He's speaking in personal capacity.
Had he been a member of parliament representing
But look
the
at
Congress
who
party,
he's talking about, you know.
So what?
George, do
He's
you
just a
understand
member
the
of the
gravity
Congress
of that
party
insult?
holding a position within
He's
the
speaking about a former Prime Minister. He's speaking about a former Prime Minister.
People in power.
Atal Bihari Vajpayee Sahib was loved across political quarters. He is responsible for our highways. He was responsible for Chandrayaan. He was responsible for Pokhran.
Paying homage to former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji.
Is Gaurav Pandit in the Congress party or not? George, has he apologized? The answer is no. Has Rahul Gandhi said anything? The answer is no. Is he still a part of the Congress party? The answer is no.
Why do you all expect Rahul Gandhi to...
So what is the point?
Come
What
into
is
this
the
episode?
point, George, in going and paying your respects to Atal Bihari Vajpayee Sahib when you let your own party men insult him like this? What is the
So that
point?
is for the Congress party. That is for the Congress party to take a cognizance of the entire episode.
If they have not taken cognizance of this offense,
But you're
then
clearly
that is
batting
a
for
part
them,
of the
and so
culprit.
is Ravi. He's clearly batting for him. I don't know why.
I am batting for the
Yes,
right
Karan,
thing.
give me
I am
30 seconds
saying,
to Ravi first.
Does he know the Subramanian
What is the
Swami or
right thing?
not?
To insult a former
The
Prime
people
Minister?
sitting on this side, Mr. Karan Verma and Mr. Agarwal.
Why
do
is
they
it so
know
difficult
Subramanian
for you
Swami
to
or
speak
not?
about Gaurav Pandit and his insult to Atal Bihari Vajpayee Sahib, Ravi?
Swami or not? And Mr. Why
Because you do not have a problem with such kind of words.
Why Mr. Modi
You do
is
not have a
like
problem if
today?
Atal Bihari Vajpayee Sahib is called a British stooge. That is the low level of politics in the country. Ravi?
Likened to Mahatma Gandhi and to Sardar Patel. But Mr. Modi
Karan.
is not likened to Golwalkar ji, Savarkar, and Atal Bihari Vajpayee.
Ambedkar
Why?
ji, Sardar Patel,
Can you reply?
Subhash Chandra Bose, even Narasimha Rao ji.
Okay,
They
let's
were
have
all
Karan
being
and Ravi on the
not
screen.
given
Karan
due
is
place
responding.
by the Congress leadership. Even Narasimha Rao ji.
Yes, Karan,
people
Karan
like
quickly, then I'll
Sardar
get in
Patel.
Ravi's response.
You know, Mr. Ravi is fixated with Subramaniam Swami. Sir, Subramaniam Swami is
What
taking
Swami
Rahul
did,
Gandhi
sir?
and Sonia
Subramaniam
Gandhi to
Swami is
jail.
your member
Don't
of
worry. Arre sir, don't worry. He will take them to jail. He will take them to jail in the National Herald. National Herald में दोनों bail पे हैं because of Subramaniam
You tell him
Swami.
he's not your leader. You tell him he's not
Is
your
this
leader.
debate about Subramaniam Swami or Gaurav
Mr.
Pandit?
Atal Bihari Vajpayee was an
Is this
informer
debate
of the
about
British.
Gaurav Pandit or
And on
Mr.
record,
Subramaniam Swami?
He published in the
And let me
Pioneer
tell you
on
something
12th
very
August
interesting.
1997.
Ravi Srivastava, Ravi
Please
Srivastava, are you reiterating what Gaurav said? One second, Karan, we need to clarify this. Is Ravi Srivastava echoing what Gaurav Pandit said? Are you calling the former Prime Minister British stooge?
And Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji. Why?
Ravi Srivastava, please come back to the debate. Please come back to the debate, Ravi.
Why?
Ravi, do you think Gaurav Pandit or Rahul Gandhi needs to apologize for that tweet and the language for calling Atal Bihari Vajpayee Sahib a British stooge?
First, Mr.
Yes or no?
Subramaniam Swami should apologize. First, Mr. Subramaniam Swami should apologize.
What about the insult to the former Prime Minister?
Why did he
What
insult
about
his
the
own
insult,
leader?
Ravi, to the former Prime
Why
Minister?
did he insult his own
Or
leader? He
because
should
someone
apologize
is not
first.
from the Nehru-Gandhi dynasty,
He
you can
should
derive them in
apologize
spite of their tremendous contributions, in spite of their legacy.
The Blitz magazine faced defamation by Mr. Vajpayee for peddling these false
They have shown
stories.
their spirit.
Today,
But do
Congress
you
is
ask?
scared.
You ask
Mr.
Subramaniam
Ravi, will you
Swami to
behave
apologize to
yourself?
the nation.
Will you
Why
behave
don't you?
yourself and keep quiet? I want to speak.
Why don't you ask
Don't you have
Subramaniam
basic
Swami
manners?
to apologize?
Why don't you do it? And why you like?
No, there is clearly, Karan, no courtesy. There is no courtesy in public life. The reason why Ravi Srivastava today does not have a problem with a Gaurav Pandey calling Atal Bihari Vajpayee Saab a stooge, a British stooge. But George, let's have George also now and Mr. Agarwal responding to him. George, you know, there is this full graphic and let's see if our team can actually fire that on the screens of what is Atal Bihari Vajpayee Saab and his legacy. George, and I think Ravi, you should also listen to this. India successfully conducts 5 nuclear tests in Pokhran under the watch of Atal Bihari Vajpayee Saab. Network of highways connecting Kolkata, Chennai, Delhi and Mumbai under the watch of the late Atal Bihari Vajpayee Saab. He privatized VSNL, Balco and Indian Petrochemical Corporations. He made education a fundamental right for children in the group 6 to 14. He had a new telecom policy. He passed the Chandrayaan-1 project. He aimed to reduce the fiscal deficit, boost public sector savings. George? And still no respect? You will allow someone like a Gaurav Pandey, who according to you is no one, to insult him.
And we should also remember that
Is that question to me?
at the time he was represented India even during the Indira Gandhi time to the United Nations.
Was that question to me?
And he used to respect the parliament.
Yes.
In the parliament, the level of debates he used to do.
Absolutely. And Mr. Agarwal, you have netas from the Congress party themselves, you know, tweeting such videos. Saying that this is the kind of legacy.
Nobody is denying the fact and questioning his contribution towards
the Congress
nation.
Then
He has given himself more than five decades to the country. Nobody is questioning his
whether they
contribution to the
stand
party.
by Rahul Gandhi's visit
And the
to
nation.
the Atal Bihari Vajpayee Samadhi,
Keeping that aside,
or
Rahul Gandhi has paid tributes to the former
with
Prime
the
Minister
statement of their
in
leaders
good spirit,
abusing
and they
Atal
keep
Bihari
it at that.
Vajpayee.
There is no
They
need
cannot
for Rahul
stand
Gandhi
No,
to come
but
and defend
George, why is it so difficult today? Why is it so difficult for the Congress party to say that we do not agree with the kind of comments that Gaurav Pandey has made? We apologize for it, period.
They have
Why
to
is it
say,
so difficult?
Otherwise, they cannot stand on both
Please
sides of the
understand, if Gaurav Pandey has gone ahead and
George.
deleted his tweet, that means he has come under political pressure. That is the whole reason he has gone ahead and deleted the tweet. So you have to make it from that issue.
But that doesn't mean that he's sorry.
He should. The
That
Congress
does
should
not mean
apologize
exactly my
removing
point,
or he
George.
should
That does not
apologize.
mean that he's sorry. You haven't pulled him up.
He
There
has
is
to
no action.
apologize. He has
Is
to
that
for
the
the Congress
culture of
party.
abuse in the Congress party now?
And we have to
Congress
understand
party
this
is
is the
trying to
Congress
build up the
culture.
narrative.
They are not
in the-
respecting their own
in the
leaders.
eyes of the people of
current
India.
Prime
What is the
That is the
narrative?
reason
What is the narrative? I don't
That is
understand.
the whole idea of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, to unite India and amplify
do you
the
want to-
rising fuel prices.
Arey Baba, how will you
inflation,
unite India
unemployment,
when you're willing to use such
insecurity,
words against a former Prime Minister?
youth.
One of the tallest leaders, someone who's respected across
And
political
they should
lines,
also
Ravi.
apologize. The current Prime Minister is
This
being
is how
abused by their
Bharat
leaders.
Jodo is happening.
Current
कि आप जाकर श्रद्धांजलि
Whom
दीजिए
they
और
want to
आपके एक
connect,
नेता उनको गाली
Bharat.
देंगे. That is Bharat Jodo.
Whom they want to connect.
Current Prime Minister was the Chief Minister of Gujarat, and the mid of the massacre of minorities in Gujarat, Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee asked
So
Mr.
you are
Modi,
not respecting
आप
the
राज धर्म का
democratic
पालन
results of
करिए.
the country.
What respect
You
Mr.
have no respect
Modi
for
gave
the
to the Prime
democracy of
Minister
the
of the
country.
country?
अच्छा तो you
You
will
know
obviously
that
quote
the
something
Prime
that only
Minister of
suits
the
you,
country.
but I'll
You
allow
are
Mr.
the
Agarwal a
Prime
rebuttal.
Minister of the country.
This is called
You are
politics
not
of convenience,
respecting
Mr. Agarwal.
own leaders.
सुब्रमण्यम स्वामी ने जो लिखा
Yeah,
है
the thing
वो मैंने
is,
आपको बता
the
दिया.
thing
I
is,
already
the
told you.
Congress
What
culture is
Subramaniam Swami
abusive.
wrote
The thing
in the
is, Congress
newspaper.
abuses other than the Gandhi family. All leaders have no respect in the minds of the Congress leadership, except the Gandhi Parivar. Except the Gandhi Parivar, no other leader in the country has any respect in the minds of the Congress. Where even the current Prime Minister is being abused at so many times by the different leaders. The thing is, even their own leaders like Narasimha
That's
Rao,
correct.
Sardar
That
Patel,
criticism is
Subhash
always
Chandra
welcome.
Bose, have not given due place in the history. And this is only optics that the Rahul Gandhi want to play. It is only an optics with the media glare that he is going to visit. Though he should show some respect and now apologize for Gaurav Pandey. Gaurav Pandey should be removed from his post, or Gaurav Pandey should apologize for what he has been doing.
But that clearly hasn't happened. That clearly hasn't happened. I want to ask Ravi again. Ravi, do you want to revisit your position? Because in your petty politics, in exposing the fact that you do not have a problem with such an abuse being used against a former Prime Minister who's a Bharat Ratna, you are exposing yourself. इससे आपको वोट मिलते हैं क्या रवि? रवि, गाली देने से अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी साहब के खिलाफ इस तरह के शब्दों का इस्तेमाल करने से रवि, you think you will win elections?
I have not used any bad word.
Whom they want to connect with Bharat Jodo?
You are supporting him, no Ravi?
They cannot.
Ravi, but you are supporting Gaurav today.
Our leaders.
You are not saying what he said was wrong. He should be pulled out. He should be sacked.
You want to connect people of the country. You have no respect to our former prime ministers. You have no respect to the contribution of other leaders in the freedom struggle. With whom do you want to connect people of the country? Only to Rahul Gandhi? You want to connect to them to Rahul Gandhi, who is on bail on a corruption charge? You want to connect the people to Rahul Gandhi, who is on bail on a corruption charges? With whom do you want to connect people of the country? You don't respect the former Prime Minister. You don't respect the current Prime Minister. You don't respect the
people of the country. Remember, people of the country are watching this. And the very fact, George, that we think that the netas of our country can't go any lower, now they stoop even lower. This is exactly what is reflected in this mentality, and this tweet that's coming from Gaurav Pandey. He's only deleted that tweet. He's neither apologized nor has Rahul Gandhi clarified on why did he allow him to make that comment. And we must remember, in public life, there should be certain basic political courtesies extended to great people like the former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee Saab. On that note, we let our viewers decide whether Rahul Gandhi should break his silence or not. For the moment, I thank all of you gentlemen for speaking to us. We are back on the other side with lots more.
Presented by Tested Like Samsonite.
Amity faculty have filed over 1,700 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been conferred with the National Intellectual Property Award by Government of India for being the top Indian academic institution for patents and commercialization.
All-rounder, हम भी हैं.
और तुम्हारा किचन? किचन. कभी स्टेन्स, कभी जर्म्स, तो कभी पानी. आपकी किचन और बाथरूम्स को चाहिए MYK लेटिक्रीट SP100, टाइल जॉइंट का ऑलराउंडर. MYK लेटिक्रीट SP100, जोड़ हो तो ऐसे.
Reimagineering brighter futures with smarter steels.
Guys, just 1 second. Choosing a car for my mom. What? Online car shopping? Wow, that's so cool, yeah. Shahrukh ने बताया.
Wait up. Booking a car service.
From here.
क्यों? तुझे शाहरुख ने नहीं बताया?
इसने पूछा ही नहीं. There's so much more जो शाहरुख ने नहीं बताया. It's all on the industry first My Hyundai app. Open a world of possibility with My Hyundai app. One app, many worlds.
देखें कौन नया खिलाड़ी आया है. समझा देते हैं. प्यार से समझाएंगे. ये तो अपनी जुबान है.
जुबान एक हो तो दिल भी एक होनी चाहिए. विमल Bolo Zubaan Kesari.
India welcomes those who further India's pride across the globe. Indian diaspora, partners of New India's growth journey in Amrit Kaal. Come and be a part of the 17th Pravasi Bharati Diwas from 8th to 10th January 2023 at Indore, Madhya Pradesh, India. For registration, log on to pbdindia.gov.in.
एक दिन मैं सोते सोते गिर गया और मुझे कुछ नहीं हुआ। पता है किसने किया? घोस्ट ने। मेरा दोस्त है, वो हर बार मुझे बचा लेता है। घोस्ट को कैसे पता मैं अंधेरे से डरता हूँ? घोस्ट मेरा दोस्त है। मिलोगे?
अरे कोई घोस्ट नहीं, रोनी के पापा ही हैं जो उसे सेफ रखते हैं। जैसे हैवेल्स लाइफ शील्ड वायर्स जो दिखते नहीं पर घर को सेफ रखते हैं। ना आग पकड़े, ना जहरीली गैस छोड़े। वायर्स दैट डोंट कैच फायर।
Vadra Congress is at it again after Savarkar now insulting the Bharat Ratna, the former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. No apology, no action from the Congress yet. The Congress eulogizes Muhammad Ali Jinnah, commemorating his speech from 1947. Mortuary attendant in the SSR case makes explosive claims. A spotlight is back on the Sushant Singh Rajput case tonight.
Major debate after Congress abuses Vajpayee. Savarkar to Vajpayee. Is it Congress pattern to abuse? Has Vadra Congress turned into an abuse factory? Arnab debates at 9 p.m.